Hello, it's Kevin here. Video time again. Now, this is an interesting one. It's a map. So this is Cambridge 5, test number 3, right? The map of the town of Garlsdon with new potential or possible sites for a new supermarket. Now, I posted this in IELTS9.pro, the group which you may or may not know I run on Telegram. And quite a few people were puzzled. They didn't know how to approach this particular map. Well, I'm going to explain that now, and we'll see how they responded. So, just in case you don't know, I'm running down every Cambridge Academic Writing Task from 18, 17, 16, 15, all the way down to number 1. And we're currently on number 5, test number 3. So, it's pretty straightforward, really. So, let me just quickly show you my sample. Where is it? Okay. Right, so what I did here, introduction, as always, the map, graph, table, chart shows blah, 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 in paraphrase. And that's it. Now, the overview here is a little tricky, but not that much if you think about it. The main difference between it, because we're going to be doing lots of comparisons here, right? The main difference between the two potential sites is that site 1, S1, S2, will be out of town, yeah, and S2 in town, yeah. So pretty straightforward stuff. So we've got main difference: two sites, S1 outside, S1 in the town centre. Both sites relatively accessible by rail and road. Oh, I forgot. What did I forget? Well, you probably know. I forgot this. I have to show it every time. Fair use, etc. Okay? So, get rid of that. So, introduction's easy. The map shows, graph, table, chart shows, blah, blah, blah. The key trends here are pretty obvious. One site's outside, one site's one site is inside. It's close to the country. Sorry, it's in the countryside, close to the residential area. Rail and road access not too far away. The next town not too far away. Site number 2 in the traffic-free zone in the centre, but in the middle of a residential area, close to the industrial area at the southern edge of the town, and road and rail links close by. So that's it. That's all that you have to basically include. I mean, this one's short, 173 words. There's not a lot really to add. So introduction, overview. So now I would do site 1 first, right? And then when you're talking about site 2, you're making some comparisons here. So by way of contrast, despite this, road access, unlike S1, is situated, so I'm doing a comparison here with site 1. So site 1 first, in the countryside, to the northwest, railway line, main road, because there's not a lot you can actually say there. It's in the middle of nowhere, really. But for S2, site 2, there's a lot more. The centre, railway passes by, cars denied access, no traffic zone. Despite this, road access to Cranston, Branston, Hindon is nearby, because you've got that access road there, that access road there, that access road there. So it's, like I say, relatively close by. Unlike site 1, residential close to the industrial zone. So 173 words, and that is pretty much it, I would say. Now, as always, I have some responses to review. Now, as always, I'm not going to rewrite and correct every single error here. Okay. A lot of you are using the American spelling. Maybe that's your version of Word is standard. It has the American one. It doesn't matter in the actual test, as long as you are consistent. But it's just, as an Englishman, I always usually, C-E-N-T-R-E, not C-E-N-T-E-R, which is the American version. This is why my version of Word registers that as a mistake. So, provide the map to potential options, location of use supermarket, key distinction, outside, inside. Okay, that's good. Close proximity, in the middle of the town. Okay, so you've got regarding the first supermarket, S1, then you've got S2. So you're making a direct comparison there. But then you've got to think about the main roads. Okay, so what's that got to do with where the supermarkets might be? However, the town centre is designated as a no traffic zone. Okay. Conversely, okay, so we're doing a comparison here. Now, this is an assumption to say I would not make. It could be more challenging, could be more time consuming, but we can't prove this. So I would not make these assumptions. You know, they don't really like it. They just like you to write what you can see. Whether that's true or not. It probably would be, but still, you can't make that assumption. Supermarket sites, potential sites, yeah, but you've got this. It is noteworthy to mention that it's more convenient. Well, it could well be. I'm not sure whether I would have included that. You don't really need it, but okay. Map direct comparison in the town of Garlsdon can be seen. First site countryside with less accessibility compared to the second site. Okay, you could have maybe put a little bit more there. Concerning the first site, it's in the northwestern side, yeah. To the north west, you've got north, so northwest, northeast, south west, southeast. Okay. Main road, home to 10,000 people. What's that got to do with the supermarket site? It's accessible through a railway to Cranston's 20,000. You don't really need to put this in, the amount of people living in those particular towns. You can do, but I wouldn't. So there's no direct comparisons here, which I would try and include. So this is simply a description of site 1, a description of site 2. There's no direct comparison. So, you know, saying like, as opposed to this is so-and-so, by way of contrast, despite this, unlike, those kind of words to show you when I'm making a contrast. Okay, but that's not so bad. Now, again, do we need the population here? Maybe not. Now, a prediction, anticipation, not the same thing. It's potential sites, not predicted. So it's not definite that this site will be built. A prediction, tomorrow it's going to rain. Anticipation, there's clouds outside. I'm expecting rain. So these are potentials. It's possible, you know, it's possible, a possibility. So be careful how you phrase that. As I say, you have a new potential site. It's not been built yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So not so bad, but you've got all this stuff about the population. What's that got to do with, you know? So it's not so bad. Just be very cautious how you put your detail here. Now, this one's not so bad either. Okay, you've got good introduction, overview to available spots. Well, yeah. First thing, countryside, one in the town centre. Let's change that to the English spelling. First site, countryside, northwest, relatively far. Well, yeah, because west, north, the opposite side of the city, so I'm not quite sure why we need, I mean, I'm sure it's relatively far from the southern part of the city also, but I'm not quite sure why you want to include that. Public transportation, private cars through the main road, located near the southern industrial zone, okay, in the town centre, which is in a no traffic zone, impossible to reach there by car, near the railway. Then you've got this in summary. Now, you don't really need this, because it's not an essay. And then you've got all the you have to walk. You. I wasn't planning on walking anywhere, but okay. And let's have a quick look at this last one here. 2 possible locations: new supermarket, outskirts, middle of a city centre. That's good. Okay, and then you've got site 1 here. Okay. Now you've got this stuff here about describing Garlsdon at first. Now you don't really need that. I mean, I would include that detail, but only in relation to the site 1 and site 2. So I wouldn't put a description of the town first. I would, because it's talking about the potential supermarket site. So in relation to the potential supermarkets, relate this information to Garlsdon. But not, this is Garlsdon, and put all this detail down first before you start getting to what's important, the proposed sites of a supermarket. Supposed, proposed, not the same thing. And some word order there. Banned from entering, not the town centre is banned from entering vehicles, the opposite way around. So I think that's it, actually, yeah. So that could do with a bit of reworking, I think, in terms of organisation of information. Most of you get the introduction and the overview pretty straightforwardly. You know, the obvious thing to do in terms of logical organisation is to, you know, introduction, overview, paragraph 3, site 1, paragraph 4, site 2. Make some comparisons, though, as I did. Unlike this, in comparison with this, by way of contrast to so-and-so, you know. And that would work a treat. So, not so bad. I hope those people who were saying in the group that it was a little hard and they didn't know how to approach it, I hope this gives them some, you know, more ideas about how you might have approached it. But the way that most of you have is not too bad at all. So I'll quickly leave mine there. I mean, I could have maybe added some extra words, but there's not a lot else that you actually need there. I mean, if you look at it, right, 2 possible sites for a supermarket. So you don't really need to talk about Garlsdon and this village and population. Well, is it a village, like a town, 10,000 people? So maybe I could have put that in, but 2 possible sites for supermarket. So you're talking about those. Everything else is in relation to the sites. Anyway, 173 words. That will do, I think. So, pretty short video. Next one, Cambridge 5 test number 4. I'll post that in the group in a second, in fact. If you're watching on YouTube, links below to the Telegram group and my own teaching site on italki. Right, hope that helps. I'll see you later.